Hi guys, this is Just Us Tucson. I'm here to update you on the California fires, the Southern California fires. Before we had the Northern California fires, now we have Southern California fires. And it all seems very sketchy and very planned and orchestrated to me. These fires are not natural. Burning houses all the way down to the foundations is not natural. Melting every type of metal in the house, melting the glass, none of that is natural. So right now, I am on the active fire mapping program, and I'm looking up the current large incidents, and they've updated this as of December 7th, which is today. So here's a summary on the right hand side. IMSR, which is Incident Management Situation Report. Natural Preparedness Level, Level 1. National Fire Activity, Initial Attack Activity, Light, 23 new fires. New large incidents, 1. Large fires contained, 1. Uncontained large fires, 8. Area command teams committed, 0. NIMO committed, 0. Type 1 IMTs committed, 3. And IMTs stands for Incident Management Teams. Type 2 IMTs committed, 0. Now, as you can see here, I'm going to scroll up and show you this map. Now here, I don't know what all these other lines are for, because these do not look like state lines, the black lines, but anyways, as you can see, here's fire number 1, the Thomas Fire, 90,000 acres. So let's look at that. Report date, December 7th, 2017. And this is the Thomas Fire. Burnt area, 90,000 acres, which is a 64% increase from yesterday. That's not natural. Ventura County, California. Cause, undetermined. Maybe they just don't want to say, or can't say. I think it's because they want to make it you think that it's a wildfire, but the way these fires are moving and just striking the house, I have seen so many videos where they're showing the fire. The news channels are showing the fire, and everything around the house, like the trees and vegetation, are completely fine. It's only the house that's caught on fire, and it looks to be from the inside out. Microwave weapons? Incident team type, IMT type 1. Containment status, only 5% contained. These firefighters are stretched so thin. So thin. Expected containment, well, December 24th. That's when they expect to have it contained. So they're just going to let things burn. And that's exactly what they did. There was a mental facility for mental people where they just let it burn. They said, oh, well, that's not really our priority. That's not really a priority for us. So we're going to focus on where we really need to focus, which hopefully would be the homes. But you would think that a mental facility with 80 plus beds in it, therefore people and workers, would take a big priority, to actually try and put the fire out. But they made these people go to a school. Now, how scary is that, having mental people in a school? And I'm not I know a lot of people have mental conditions and problems, but it's just kind of scary when you think about them being in a school. But I think the school was closed. But, I mean, how far did they have to move all those 80 people plus? You know, how far did they have to move them? Was it just down the street? Do they expect that place to catch on fire? I mean, if it's a wildfire should burn through the vegetation to the houses. It shouldn't be just a house on fire with trees that are perfectly fine all around it and bushes and everything just perfectly fine around it. These fires were not started by nature. Not at all. Now here is the next fire for rye. And the date is, of course, today, December 7th. They have 7,000 acres burned, which is a 40% increase from yesterday. This is in Los Angeles County, California. The cause, once again, undetermined. Sounds a little sketchy to me. Incident team type, IMT type 1. Containment status, 15% contained. So, less acreage, more able to be contained. Better than the 5% that they had contained in the Thomas fire. They expect containment on December 15th. I don't know how they can know that, but I mean, these guys who are starting these fires, whether it be directed energy weapons or whether it be through the smart meters, which I think it very well might be a combination of those, you know, they're not going to know when they're just going to start zapping houses again. Just making these poor firefighters work so hard for nothing when they're just going to do it again. Because this is the New World Order's agenda to decrease population, to have more land for use for forests. Very little human use. If you saw that video I did, there's very little human use left. I mean, it's the New World Order's plan, but what do they have to be afraid of? They're gonna go into their bunkers and live underground, and then they're actually fulfilling prophecy by doing that, because it says in the book of Revelation that they say to the mountains and the rocks and the caves, fall on us and hide us from the one who sits on the throne, which is Yahuah HaMashiach. So this fire report information is based on the incident status summary, ICS 209 based database and integrated reporting of wildland fire information. Additional information for current large incidents is available via the Incident Management Situation Report, IMSR, provided by the National Interagency Coordination Center. Discrepancies between the fire acreage displayed on a large incident location map and the acreage reported in the ICS 209 are subject to the currency of ICS 209 information reported above. Please note the report date. The USDA Forest Service Geospatial Technology and Application Center is not responsible for the accuracy of this information. So who even knows how accurate this information is? Let's go to the larger, the number 3rd fire for the Creek Fire. The burnt area as of today is 12,605 acres, an 11% increase from yesterday. It's in Los Angeles County, California. Cause, once again, undetermined. I mean, they thought, they expect it to be completely contained by December 23rd. Right now, it's only 10% contained. So they think that these fires, in California right now have just one ember has probably just jumped from 1 to 2 to 3, even though there are a lot more fires. Look at this map. They only showed 3 fires in California, in Southern California. But there are a lot more fires burning in Southern California. And I don't know of any fires burning in Arizona right now. I haven't heard anything about any fires, and there's certainly not any fires near where I live. This is not true. There are no fires right now. But these fires, 1, 2, and 3, there's actually a lot more fires in between, and they just seem to all be in residential areas. And, when I think they're using these directed energy weapons, that they're going to burn a little bit of brush, maybe a little bit of forest, just to make it seem like it started that way. But the real target is the houses, the homes, with the people in them, when it starts early in the morning or in the middle of the night. I mean, all those fires in Santa Rosa started in the middle of the night. And those people didn't even have a chance to either wake up or get out. I mean, they got out with the clothes on their back. They left so much behind. Everything. Now these people in California right now, same thing. A lot of them are just spontaneously, these homes are just spontaneously combusting in the middle of the night, which makes absolutely no sense. Would that make sense to you, that a house would just catch on fire in the middle of the night? I mean, look at this. Look at this. They just let it burn. And look at the bushes and the palm trees. Palm trees can catch on fire. Bushes can catch on fire. But why aren't they? These fires started on the inside of the structure. It is so obvious. There's no burnt marks. If you look on the buildings where the white paint is, there are no burn marks on the outside. This is totally man-made. And I really think it has something to do with all the smart meters that they just went ahead and put on our houses. And if you want to opt out of it, you have to pay money to do that, to go back to the regular meter, where someone has to come by and check your meter. I remember the meter guy. He came by and checked the meter. He was nice. But now, they just want it to have a Wi-Fi signal and radio frequencies to go, all over between the houses and just bounce around and affect us in such horrible ways, whether it's giving you a headache, keeping you awake at night, all kinds of horrible things that these smart meters do, including starting fires from the inside of a structure and out. As you can see on the left, where the roof is completely gone, the outside of the building is still standing. There's no burn marks at all. The bushes are fine. That fire had started on the inside. And then where you see the huge flames coming out of the roof. It's not like an ember landed on top of the roof and caught the place ablaze. No, it started on the inside. Oh man. It's the things they can do these days, and it's the New World Agenda. And here's where they show you, oh look, yes, it is a wildfire, and there are houses in danger. But these fires that are on the hills here could have just been started by one of those directed energy weapons, or the microwave weapons, where they just shoot a laser at it, or it's the 5G network that's in this all together. I mean, they can make it look a little bit natural, but when it's consuming houses and structures like that, that is not natural. The grass is perfectly fine. The bushes and whatever else vegetation they have there and all the trees around it are fine. So how did that building catch on fire? You know, they showed a newscaster walking around and everything was just perfectly fine. I'm going to play you a little bit of this. Well, maybe I'll just want to skip to this part right here. Here, it's on fire on the inside. Everything outside is fine. If that was a wildfire, you would have seen a fire trail moving across the grass, catching the bush on fire, therefore catching the building on fire. That's not what this is. This is not a wildfire at all. I mean, this, yeah, if there's a lot of dry vegetation in the area, which I'm sure they've had because with all this geoengineering, we don't get much rain anymore. But they could have just, you know, zapped a little piece of that hill and then it just caught the whole thing ablaze. And they say, okay, well, there, we did our job. They did their job, you know, they got it done. They just did what they were told. Once again, another place you see this whole structure is on fire from the inside. The trees around it are not catching fire. These fires are burning too hot. It's not natural. It's not natural at all. And this guy, he walks around to a perfectly fine place, you know. I'll leave the link in the description for this video. But this whole thing, there are no burn marks on the outside. It's all on the inside. You can see the trees are all fine back there. So how did that whole entire building, this is the mental facility, now how did it catch on fire like that? Where all the trees and bushes are just perfectly fine, right up next to the building. There's nothing wrong with them. Nothing. Ugh. Here is some more hills on fire that are getting close to neighborhoods. And, you know, you see this and, you know, there's trees here, bushes, trees, and they're all fine. Yeah, don't want to listen to you. So, anyways, you know, they said, I mean, there's a ton of smoke in the air, obviously. Oh, so there's a ton of smoke in the air, and, you know, along with all the chemtrails and the winds blowing around the smoke is rising. Actually, they said it was staying low. So, that's kind of weird that the smoke is staying low. That's not, smoke is supposed to rise. That's why when you're in a house fire or any kind of fire, you're supposed to get down to the ground. But see, that wouldn't be effective here because they have said that the smoke is staying at the bottom. It's staying, I mean, yeah, it's staying low. There's another house. No, it's the same place. Same place. Same mental facility that's on fire. And you can see nowhere where it started on the outside. Oh, look. That palm tree did get caught on fire. But look how close the fire is to the other palm trees. That didn't catch on fire. Oh, this is man-made. It's not natural. Anyways, guys, I'll leave the link in the description for this newscast. It was actually from Kingdom, Donation Kingdom. So, check out his video. It's basically just the newscast, and with all the updates about it and about the wind. And last night we had a fierce wind, and we actually had a freeze warning. And I live in Arizona, and southern Arizona, and that's, normally we get high winds and cooler temperatures in October or November, but for it to take 2 months to get cold finally, to the point where I have to put on extra sweaters and socks, that's just not natural. They're totally messing with nature, and they're gonna pay for it. Because when Yahuah comes back, all these people who are doing evil around the world, they're gonna get their comeuppance. This is Just Us Two Sun, guys. Have a good night.